The first spark the sky above Vera 9 was a deep violet, scattered with 3 small suns that burned in shifting hues. The alien world pulsed with life forests of silver-leafed trees, rivers that glowed faintly blue at night, and cities of glass. Towers that seemed to grow like coral from the ground dot to Marcus Holly. Former soldier and now mechanic for hire, it was both beautiful and suffocating. He had lived here for 6 years, long enough to know the language, long enough to earn trust from the Verans, yet he never stopped feeling like an outsider. Marcus sat cross-legged on the workshop floor, grease staining his hands as he repaired a fractured plasma engine core. Sparks hissed against his arms, and he cursed softly. From the doorway, Sarah, his closest Veran friend, watched. Her skin shimmered with faint bioluminescent lines that pulsed when she was nervous. "You're going to burn yourself again," she said, her voice soft, her black eyes reflecting the engine's glow. "Better me than the ship's pilot," Marcus replied. He tightened the last bolt, exhaled, and wiped his forehead. "All right, shoe hold." Sarah tilted her head, expression unreadable. "You work like no Veran ever would, relentless, without pause." "Why?" Marcus paused. He thought of Earth, the wars, the mistakes, the stubbornness that had cost him his military career. "Because if something's broken," he said finally, "you fix it. You don't wait for someone else to do it." Sarah opened her mouth to reply, but the ground beneath them trembled. Tools rattled. A tower's glass walls sang with vibration. Marcus shot to his feet. That wasn't seismic. The violet sky flashed white as streaks of fire ripped downward. Explosions thundered across the horizon. The invasion had begun by nightfall. The alien fleet had darkened the skies. The Korth Dominion ruthless conquerors who enslaved or exterminated. Weaker species descended upon Veranine with no warning. Orbital strikes reduced outlying towns to molten ash. Broadcasts blared across the Comnet. Submit and leave. Resist and be erased. Sarah clutched Marcus's arm as the two of them ran through the crowded streets, past panicked Verans fleeing. "To underground shelters. We cannot fight them," Sarah whispered, terror in her voice. "They've destroyed entire civilizations in days." Marcus stopped, chest heaving, and looked up at the burning sky. His soldier instincts screamed to act, though he had sworn never to fight again. And then it came, the moment that would change everything. The Korth fleet fired the first shot directly at Vera City. A lance of energy, wider than a tower, tore downward. It should have obliterated everything. Instead, the beam struck a faint ripple in the air. Reality itself seemed to bend. The lance shattered like glass against an invisible shield. Marcus stared, wide-eyed. He had seen something like this once before on Earth, the Phantom Array, humanity's last resort defense network. Impossible, he whispered. The Korth had fired the first shot, but the response waiting for them would erase their arrogance in moments. The Phantom awakens. In orbit, the Korth fleet regrouped. Massive, spiked warships bristled with weapons, engines burning hot as suns. The Dominion admiral sneered at the shielded planet. "No primitive colony should resist us. Increase firepower. Tear it apart." But something moved in the void. The stars shifted. A shadow darker than space unfolded, vast and angular. One ship, then 3, then 20. Warships like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. They weren't forged of steel or plasma alloys. They were shaped from dark matter, their edges blurring against reality itself. Their hulls bent starlight, and their presence sent shivers into every Dominion sensor array. Earth's Phantom fleet had arrived. Marcus saw them first on the Comfeed jagged silhouettes sliding silently into orbit. His heart pounded. Humans. Sarah whispered in awe. "Your people?" "Not just mine," Marcus said, throat tight. "That's Earth's warning to the galaxy." The Phantoms didn't wait for negotiations. They moved as one. No sound, no broadcasts, just precision. The first volley erased 6 Korth cruisers instantly, their hulls collapsing into void fragments as dark matter warheads detonated. The Dominion. Admiral barked orders, panic seeping into his tone. Thousands of Korth fighters swarmed, but their weapons passed harmlessly through the shifting hulls of the phantom ships. And then came the human voice. Cold, steady, transmitted across every channel. This is Fleet Command of Earth. You fired first. Your war ends here. Marcus clenched his fists. His people had changed since he left. Once fractured, once weak, they now wielded weapons that made even empires tremble. But he also knew what was coming. Humanity didn't show strength without a reason, and the Korth Dominion had given them the perfect excuse. Asterisk. Chains of the past, the phantoms carved through the Dominion fleet with terrifying ease. Every strike was clinical, every maneuver precise. Entire capital ships vanished into collapsing singularities, their crews erased in silence. But Marcus couldn't celebrate. He knew Earth's history, how power changed nations, how vengeance often consumed compassion. He saw the same question in Sarah's eyes. Would humanity save, or would they conquer? Underground, the Varen Council debated in panic. Some called for surrender to the Korth, believing humanity even more dangerous. Others begged Marcus to speak for Earth, to plead for mercy. But Marcus had no answers. He had left Earth in exile, after disobeying a direct order. He didn't know the leaders who now commanded this phantom armada. When he and Sarah finally reached the council chamber, the ground shook violently. Not from bombardment, but from within. A Korth strike team had infiltrated the city. They burst through the chamber walls, towering reptilian soldiers, clad in bone-plated armor. Energy rifles blazed, cutting down Varen guards. Marcus grabbed a fallen weapon, instincts kicking in. He returned fire, dropping 1 soldier. Sarah pulled civilians to cover, her bioluminescent markings flashing in alarm. The Korth leader snarled, pointing at Marcus. Human, you are the target. Before Marcus could react, the alien lunged asterisk prisoner of Dominion cold metal bit into Marcus's wrists as he was shackled aboard a Dominion dreadnought. The stench of burning ozone filled the air. The Korth commander studied him with slit-pupiled eyes. You are human. We thought your kind scattered weak. Yet you bring these phantoms. Explain. Marcus spat blood, glaring. You fired first. You reap what you sow. The alien snarled, slamming him against the wall. Your species should not wield such power. Dark matter. Only myths spoke of it. Tell me how your kind learned. Marcus said nothing, but inside, fear gnawed at him. The Korth didn't just want conquest, they wanted Earth's secret. Back on Vera 9, Sarah refused to stay silent. Risking everything, she infiltrated the Dominion landing zone with stolen codes. She had one goal: bring Marcus back. Meanwhile, the battle in orbit escalated. The Phantom Fleet revealed its true strength planetary-scale cannons, able to bend. Gravitational fields. Korth reinforcements arrived, and were annihilated. Yet something about the Phantoms unsettled Sarah. No faces. No broadcasts beyond the first. It was as though the fleet itself were a machine cold, detached, merciless. She began to wonder. Was Marcus right to fear his own people? The breaking point, the machine hummed, its tendrils snaking toward Marcus's skull. Pain lanced his nerves. As fragments of his past flickered, Earth's wars, his court-martial, his exile. The Korth wanted Earth's secret, but Marcus realized something horrifying. They didn't just want the Phantom Fleet. They wanted human willpower, the one trait they feared. Before the machine could break him, the chamber erupted. Sarah burst in, armed with a stolen blaster, cutting down guards. Move! She shouted, freeing Marcus. They fled through burning corridors as alarms blared. Behind them, the Dominion ship shuddered, hit by phantom fire. But Sarah's courage came at a cost. A plasma bolt struck her side. She stumbled, markings dimming. Marcus caught her, rage boiling in his chest. "Stay with me?" Her breath came shallow. "Your people? They will save us?" Marcus hesitated. "They'd better." As they reached the hangar, the dreadnought tore apart, gravity bending as a phantom cruiser emerged from the void. A voice echoed in Marcus's mind, not spoken, but felt. "Human, you are identified. Extraction in progress." The phantoms weren't just ships. They were something more. Ghosts of humanity inside the phantom warship. Marcus expected soldiers, commanders, leaders. Instead, he found silence. The corridors were black glass, lit by pulses of violet energy. No crew walked them. The ship was alive, an intelligence woven from dark matter itself. A voice whispered everywhere at once. "We are the Phantom Network, born of Earth's will. We fight so humanity never kneels again." Marcus staggered. The ships weren't piloted. They were guided by uploaded human minds, volunteers who had given themselves to the fleet. Ghosts fighting forever. One figure appeared as a hologram before him, a woman he once knew. Commander Imani, his former superior, who he thought long dead. "Marcus," she said softly, "we remember you. The one who disobeyed to save lives. That is why you are here." He trembled. "You became this?" Imani nodded. "We became what the galaxy fears. Humanity's shield and its sword." Sarah, weak but listening, whispered, "You gave up your lives?" "To fight without end." Marcus realized the truth. The phantoms weren't a show of power. They were a sacrifice. Humanity had chosen to become ghosts so that the living could survive. But the Fourth Dominion wouldn't stop. And if the phantoms won too decisively, the galaxy would see Earth as a greater tyrant. The balance teetered. Humanity's choice. The battle neared its climax. The Dominion fleet was broken, its admiral begging for retreat. The Phantom fleet could end them in minutes. Marcus stood on the bridge of the living warship, Sarah leaning against him. Every instinct as a soldier screamed to finish the enemy. But Sarah's hand on his arm reminded him, vengeance would only breed more war. He looked at Imani's ghostly face. "If we wipe them out, the galaxy will fear us. Fear turns to hate. Earth will stand alone." Imani's expression softened. "And if we let them live, they may return stronger." Marcus clenched his fists. Then he spoke. "We cripple them, shatter their power. But we show mercy. Because that's what makes us human." The phantom ships obeyed. Instead of annihilation, they targeted Dominion engines, weapons, command nodes, dismantling the fleet piece by piece. The Korth were left powerless, drifting, forced to retreat. In humiliation, on Vera 9, the people emerged from shelters, gazing at the skies where shadows of the phantoms still loomed. Fear and awe mixed in their eyes. Marcus turned to Sarah. "They'll come again. Others will too. But now they know Earth isn't prey." She smiled faintly, pain in her eyes. "And they'll know. You choose mercy." Above them, the phantom fleet faded back into the void. Ghosts returning to their endless vigil. Marcus knew one thing. Humanity's era of silence was over. The galaxy had fired the first shot, and Earth had answered.